workout to get to here. Hi, folks. And I know we're behind time, so I'm gonna make it as quick as I can. I'm gonna be as quick as I can. Welcome in. Thank you so much for joining me. I am. Let me see if I can find it here so I can see what is happening in the chat. Why? When I tell you I almost didn't come, look at this thing here. Let's see if the classes ever showing there. Yeah, one or the other it's gonna show. So I'm just gonna let's see if we can work with it for now. But welcome in, welcome in. Thank you so much for joining me, albeit a little bit late, but welcome in. If it's your first time here, I'm VC and I'm in Jamaica, and I love to travel Jamaica and show you how beautiful my island home is. If you're coming back, thank you so much for coming back. Thank you for vibing with me. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Let me put the glasses here and jump on into it. So, try and find myself on here as usual, and we'll get back to it. So let us see what is happening. Okay, there we go. Oh, this picture look good though. Yeah, there are ads playing and such the like. Let's see if I can fix. That's a little bit better. Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? We will see. But yes, in the meantime, between time, welcome in, welcome in. If it's your first time seeing this channel, on this channel we talk about traveling Jamaica and experiencing how beautiful Jamaica is. We also talk about money management and figuring out our lives. Hi Lashana, welcome in, welcome in. You're the first one in this evening. Thank you for joining, and I think you're going to be interested in this for the little time if you're able to hang out with me. So I was just introducing to say explaining. So I'm doing similar to what you do with your train. I was just explaining in the first minute that I'm actually chit-chatting that on this channel I travel around Jamaica and I show people how beautiful Jamaica is. But I also am going to be talking a little bit about money management, what I know, what I am learning, what I am doing. And so as we drive together, we thrive together. And I really think that that is something that is quite important, because if you're unable to thrive, then you can't drive, So I really want us to be able to touch on that a little bit this evening. Hi, Casey, welcome as well. Lushana, first here this evening, but welcome. I was having such a hard time going live. I went live before I couldn't see myself. I had to come off and come back. But maybe because, we're about to have such an interesting chit chat, like a short but power packed chit chat. I really am looking forward to it. Casey, I tried the thumbnail thing. That in and of itself was something else, but I think it worked for the most part. So, yes, folks. So if you're just coming in, you can say hello. Let me know where you're watching me from and all those things. Lushana, how are you guys on the weather, by the way? I know in Jamaica here we're supposed to have a cold front. I feel like I'm lean. I'm gonna fix myself a little bit or try. Okay. Yes. So we're supposed to have a cold front here in Jamaica, but for the most part, we're fine. How are you all doing in terms of the weather? Move this fan out the way. All right, there we go. So I'm trying to think there, but I can't seem to. 15? Wow. That's 15 degrees Fahrenheit, by the way. So that is very cold. No, so them the weather them me no like. That's my least favorite kind of weather, Lushana, when I was in New York. But one thing that kept me going was the fact that after January was February, then March, then after March, I didn't care what the winter did after that. I knew spring was in the air, so I was happy about that. So yes, I really hope it gets a little warmer for you all. So trust me. Yeah, man, I've had to deal with that for a little while, and I don't. In Jamaica, we would say "me no grudge you," as in I'm not jealous. I'm fine because trust me, that kind of weather is challenging for you mentally and physically. Because when you have to go to work, you still have to operate. Though it's winter, you still have to operate. So yes. All right, folks. So come on in. I'm gonna be talking quickly about one thing that I did to make my year better, and I am really hoping that it will be better. Bear in mind that we all know that what with everything that we plan, we say if it's the Lord's will. So no one knows where we're gonna be at the end of the year, but but you know, we also have to take steps, and that is one of the things that I'm doing this year. So I'm taking some steps to ensure that my year becomes a little bit better. I want to thank you for joining me. As I said, if it's your first time here, just say hello. Don't be shy. We're not shy people around here. You can say hello. Don't stay in the bushes. You know, just wave. Let us know where you're watching from. Give the video a thumbs up or what we call a like. And let's get into it. So recently, I've started posting some of my, I'm going to call it my thriving content on this channel, and that's for a reason. A lot of times, I found that I didn't have much time to just sit and make time for the Growing with VC. While I won't disregard it completely, I feel like in order for me to keep you in the loop, it's easier this way. Because sometimes people will comment over there and it takes me a while to even see it. And I don't want you to feel like I am not focusing on, but as we know, I have a 9 to 5, so I also have work to do, and work takes up a lot of my time as well. So the time that I have for YouTube, I want to be able to use it wisely. With that being said, I started sharing some of that content on here. And I remember looking back, last week we were, these questions were around, what did you think your channel would be when you first started and what is it now? I responded by saying it is what I thought it would be, and I'm doing it now. But I also wanted to add another portion of it that I think will help to inspire someone. As Casey would say, don't forget to inspire someone. So I have been on this journey for a number of years that I'm going to just open up a little bit and let you in on the journey. It has not been easy, it has not been the most fun, but it has been very rewarding. And Casey can tell you, my new slogan is, I know bossy, but life a little bit govern and all. in that's Jamaican for saying, I'm not showing off, but I'm in a better place, and I'm grateful that I'm in a better place. That's basically it. So I started, I want to say, around 2017, thereabout. So there was an incident that took place a number of years ago that still plays on my mind. Thank you so much, LaShawn. I appreciate that, really do. There was an incident that happened a number of years ago with a colleague of mine. And she looked at me and she made a statement and she's like, hey, there's no way you shouldn't be able to afford this and you make more money than I do. And I stopped and I thought about it. And I was like, so seriously, she has a point. And it was almost a little bit embarrassing. It was embarrassing, but it also made me start thinking, what was it that was different, for me to just be living like this? No, okay, see, we just like get on the tip of the iceberg, nothing too heavy. And I thought to myself, I wanted to change how things were going. I was living a particular way where I was the paycheck to paycheck life, and I got so tired. I got so fed up. I got so disheartened, all the words that you can think about to describe how I felt. I just felt like it had to be, like it couldn't always be this way. You know what I mean? Like something has to be different. And I started trying to figure out what I could do differently. It all started with me saying, there was a colleague that I admired. I realized that she wore a lot of black. And I was like, she wears a lot of black, but she still looks good all the time. And I started, you know, changing my thought process. I remember a friend of mine, the same Theo from Lens by Theo, who did the photography. He said to me, he was like, "Hi, greetings, greetings, Shamar, welcome, welcome. Remember to give it a thumbs up." He said to me, "You know, V, you don't need a lot of money to start investing, you know." At the time I thought I needed like 1,000 US or maybe like 100,000 Jamaican dollars. He was like, "No, you could do like $100 US equivalent, that is, or 10,000 Jamaican dollars." And I'm like, what? So then I became curious about investing. I also became curious about what I could do to change my life. Let me tell you, Luciana, in Jamaica here, we get paid every month. Well, from my job, we get paid every month. Um, I know when I was in New York, we got paid every 2 weeks. That still seemed long, but imagine every month. So you have to budget and be mindful of what you're doing because it's a very long month. That's my brother, Lashana. So if you've never met him before, that's my brother. Lashana is saying hello, Sir Shamar. But yes, and I was saying to myself, no man, something has to change. So I felt like I was very fickle when it comes on to Casey can tell her, she's in the chat. When it comes on to choosing clothes and getting ready and everything, I was always like trying on, taking off, trying on, taking off. And then this whole pile would be there. And I'm like, oh. So I said I heard about the no buy year because I started looking into like Dave Ramsey and the whole 9 yards. Heard about the no buy year and said, you know what, I'm going to give this a try. I started now focusing on pieces that I could wear. What you know, what you know. Hello there. The whole family's in the house. Make sure say that, but yeah. Anyway, whomever I use him for, I feel like I'm a nephew. But yeah, man, so I started changing that out and I started wearing a whole lot of black. And I remember saying, you know, I feel like I want to do this no by ear. Theo, at the time, he was listening to a lot of audiobooks and, you know, just things to change. And whenever you'd get a lift from him, he would be like, hey, listen to this. You couldn't really have conversations because his conversations were around how to change your thought process about money, you know, all of those things. I know, right, Casey? As somebody I use him phone, man. So it and it's important because who you are around will rub off on you. I know, right? So it rubbed off on me and I started listening to some stuff and I came across Dave Ramsey. And I remember listening to him and he was saying, look, the Bible tells you that the borrower is a slave to the lender. And if you find yourself in debt, you have to get gazelle intense. That's what he calls it. And I said, you know what? I will definitely do that. So I started on the journey. I figured more because I'm sure say I couldn't, Daddy. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hi, Allegra. Welcome, welcome. Remember to hit that like button, Mom. But yeah, yeah, man. So I started on that journey, and the first thing that I did, I think, was my credit card. I paid off my credit card. I soon come to what I did recently, but I know, right, Lashana? They're out and about this evening. My mom is not usually interested in. I'm very talkative. She can't stay on the live too long, but I'm happy to have you all here. So yeah, so that's how I started on the journey, and it began with me paying off my credit card. Remember, I said I started investing before I discovered the Dave Ramsey thing. And Dave Ramsey, no, his thing said you needed to do an emergency fund, which was equivalent to 1,000 USD, and then started start to pay off your debt. So I started doing that, and the first thing that I wanted to tackle was the credit card. And when I went there, they made it so it's almost like they wanted to make it difficult for you to close it. I paid it off. At the time, I think it was a little over 1,000 US, so maybe like $1,500. And I paid it off because I pulled some money from investing because now, you're changing your life. And I said, it's better for me to be broke over here than here because I just started out. And I paid it off. And when I went to the bank, I said to them, I want to close this credit card. They're like, why do you want to close the credit card? And I said, because I just don't want to use it anymore. I'm going in a different direction and I just want to change my life. They said, okay, you're going to need to write a letter. I literally wrote the letter there. I look it in, we can write. I said, may I have a piece of paper? They gave me the paper. I wrote it, I signed it, date, everything. And it took them months, I want to say maybe almost a year before they actually took it off my account. Because I guess a part of them wanted me to say, okay, she might come back. She might find herself in a situation where she will need a credit card and just come back. That was from 2018. So I've been doing different ways of no buy here for the longest time. As I said before, I started wearing a lot of black, and black suits me so well. All I need is a little lipstick or like a blazer or something else that gives you a pop of color and you're good to go. And it makes me so, it's better for me because I'm more organized in terms of that and that kind of stuff. So I feel good that way. Last year, I decided that I was gonna go on another no buy year because I wanted to get to my fully funded emergency fund. I didn't get there fully. I got close to halfway, but then what's that word? Regressed a bit because I discovered that I was doing some things that were not, I was not at that stage yet. I wanted to do it, but I was not at the stage yet. So I learned that, and I am now where I say, you know what? All right, this year I'm gonna focus on that. So that's what I'm in now. It's actually 7 steps, Lushana, baby steps. So the first step is you have a starter emergency fund of $1,000 US, and that is to prevent you from going into any debt in case there's an emergency. Let's say you need to pay to fix something at home, pay for a tire, pay for insurance, whatever it is that pops up on you and you weren't prepared for it, instead of using the credit card. And what you do when you use that, you just replenish it to get back to where it is. The second stage is to pay off all your debt starting from the lowest to the highest. So when you're paying off the lowest, you pay only the minimum payment on all the other ones that you have. Once you've completed the lowest, the money that you had for the lowest, you snowball now. So you take on the other one that was second in line and you do the same thing. You pay as much as you can on that principal, but the others you pay the minimum until you're able to just snowball as it says and you pay off all your debt. So yes, that's the 7 steps to financial freedom. He has a financial peace university, the whole 9 yards. But I like his way of doing it. It's hard though, but it helps you to develop a sense of discipline that you will need. That being said, I did the no buy year last year, but I also did something else. I bought a lot of things in bulk last year, and that changed the game for me completely. And because of that, we're here now where I'm talking about what I did this to make my year easier. I am going to be buying things in bulk, and that will help me because as I'm driving around, I want to be thriving. So I don't want to be driving and be out of town and get back home and not have the necessities that I need to be able to function because I forgot to buy it, right? So often we are in this space where we say, why, this paycheck to paycheck life has become so ingrained in us that we just continue on this process and not saying, okay, how do I get off? And it takes a lot of discipline to get off, but if you're willing to, I am here to tell you that it can work. Will it be easy? No, but so now I don't have a credit card and I don't have debt, really, yeah. But the main aim this year is to get to a place where I can have my fully funded emergency fund, because we know this year is the year of my house. Yeah, speaking it into being, speaking those things that are not as though they were. I did the bulk buying last year. Casey, I see you saying I don't want any matches. We don't want no matches. I think I have matches for the whole year. And if you're wondering, yes, I still use matches because I use a gas stove. So I definitely started doing that last year. I think I listed them in my video that I did Tuesday. So I listed them. So I bought like laundry detergent, liquid soap for washing plates, tissue, deodorant, lotion, those things, all of those things I bought in bulk. And when I tell you that it made life so much easier, and it made it so much better when you're going out to shop and stuff, every month you're like, oh, remember, you don't have to pick up this. This year I decided to do it a little differently because I'm not at the place where I can just do all of it at once. I want to, but I have to use wisdom. So I'm not at the place where I can do all of it at once. So I'm deciding to do it. But I'm giving myself between now and the end of February. Remember, I stated that we get paid once a month, right? All right, Casey, I'm soon jump over. So I bought for myself bulk soap, right? Casey told me where she. Hi, Anisha, welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy to have you in. I hope your fingers are warm now and everything, because I see you out there working in the cold, boy. But yeah, so I bought bulk soap this week, and hopefully I'll be able to buy the tissue, whichever one you call it, in next week. So I'm slowly buying the things in bulk. So by the time I'm at the end of February, I should have what I need to last me for the end of the year. What I also started doing, because I was on my no buy year last year, I thrifted this week. So I bought in bulk, but I also thrifted. So those two things will help to make my life easier for the rest of the year. Because now I tested out the soap. I was doing laundry a little bit before coming on, so that's why I wasn't able to come on at the same time too. But I also went and got myself one and two little goodies to just feel a little. But while I'm doing that, I also have to, while I'm getting stuff, one sec, let me just. So while I get stuff, I also have to clear out what I have, because I don't want to overpack, the stuff. So yes, so that's what I did, and it will make my year a whole lot easier. I pray that as I'm going on, I thought about taking it all along with me, but it was just a hectic evening. But as I go on, one thing I wanted to find out before I wrap up. So for those who are on this financial journey and want to get to a place of like financial peace, though you can't, you know what I mean, but you want to not worry too much about those things. What are some of the things that you do to help to make your life easier while you're on the journey? So for me, as I said before, I bulk buy because it helps and it saves. And when I was saying to the young man, I said I wanted, I think it's like 12 gallons of liquid all-purpose soap. And he was saying, what? How much is you need? And when I told him, he said, you know that if you buy 5 gallons, you get another discount? I said, what? So if I was only buying like a gallon for the month or whatever, I would be paying full price. But the more and I brought my bottles too, because I have bottles. So bulk buying is one thing that helped me. What is something that you do to help to make your year easier in your household? I like to have stuff. I like to have it here. I like to have it in the car. So like when I buy my toothpaste or when I have my deodorant and stuff, I know that I have one in my to-go bag. And of course, Luciana, I was like, sure, give me 10 gallons. Because I was like, hey. Because is it a gal a surname? Yeah, I think so. So I held it. It's like one of them you can hold, like you would have vinegar, bleach, or whatnot. So I calculate that one of them should be able to last me for a month. And I also bought a little additional just in case, because now I don't have to think about, oh, I don't have enough soap to do laundry. I'm gonna do laundry when I feel like it. So, and I bought some smaller ones that I like. I've been using them for a number of years, and a few fabric softeners. My mom introduced me to them, so I said, all right, cool, I'll use those, and that is it for my laundry stuff for the year. Going further, I'll be able to do other things, but when I tell you that already, I just feel like I'm so much lighter. I just feel like I'm so much lighter. Yeah, man. For me, to go back is essential because I travel. You see this? I travel a lot, and sometimes, if I'm on the western side of Jamaica, sometimes I just don't feel like coming home right away because I'm home. So, um, yeah. Use ground cloves and baking soda for a toothpaste. It's more affordable. Okay. Clove. Well, I use clove for other things. So like I'll make tea with it and I'll use it. I remember once I had a toothache and I was like, I can't get to the dentist at the time. And I was so scared. And then I remember that they said, Casey told me about the cloves. And I used it and it really helped. I can look into that because I'm all about, natural stuff as well. So that is what I do. I'm going to share more of the things that I do, but that is one thing. Bulk buying shifted my way of looking at things, and it's funny because it's cheaper to bulk buy. It's more expensive upfront, but it's cheaper because over time you are able to just, I mean, between now and, yes, Allegra, no problem, no problem, I see you. Between now and December, I'm sure the cost of the soap might go up. I'm sure the cost of most of the things that I will buy will go up a little bit, but at least I'll already have them. So that's the thing. Yeah, man, clothes have so many different properties that I tend to use them a lot. But yeah, so I hope I'll stay until I'm at 30 minutes and then I'll wrap out. But that's one thing I did this year to make my 2026 easier. I bought some things in bulk and I'll be buying some more in bulk. You can make a suggestion to me if there's something that I might be missing in terms of bulk buying. You can let me know if I miss something. I don't own it pulls too much current and I do own a television because I like the channel my little comfort and my little thing. So now when I'm off here and I'm watching Casey, I'll probably watch her on I call it the big screen, or I will watch African movies. I love a good African movie. Makes me laugh. It just does something for me. It relaxes me. So I like to watch it on the TV for that. One thing I don't own though is a microwave. So I've not had a microwave on purpose for a number of years. Since I've been back home, I've not had a microwave. My mom, sometimes she'll ask me, when you buy a microwave, what if people come by and whatever? The old school traditional way of warming food still happens. And when I take lunch to work, because I also meal prep, and when I take lunch to work, Casey got me a little warmer, like a portable warmer. I see Anisha, she has one as well. It's a little different, but it's that's what I use. So I know at what time I'm about to eat, and I'll just warm it in advance and have it there, and it's insulated so it keeps it warm and stuff. Yeah, man, African movies. I've been watching them since when I was in New York. That was something that I got introduced to. That was back when it was DVDs and you had to watch like 10 minutes worth of ads before. I don't know if any of you all were watching it at that time, but you had to watch so many ads before. But that's still what I use now. So I'm hoping that sharing these tips or these tidbits with you will help to make your year a bit better as well. If you've not thought about it before, there are some things in your life that you'll have to use anyway. So for females who are of that age, if you will have your cycle, you know that you'll need sanitary products for the rest of the year. You don't have to wait to buy it, you know, buy it now. For people who you use your deodorant, you know that you need that, you use lotion, you know you use toothpaste, you know you use toothbrush, you know you're gonna have soap, you know you have to wash your hair, you know you have to do all of those things. Um, those things you can give a thought in terms of buying in bulk. And I really hope that helps you. I really hope that you'll consider things that you can do to spend less this year, because that is the real goal. Funny enough, before I go, let me give you a quick story. So the year I started off the year banging, like I didn't buy any lunch from January. I'm going on fine, right? Here I come this past week. This week I had two activities that I thought I didn't take any lunch because I thought that I was going to be provided lunch. One, they sent it in the email to say they weren't going to provide lunch. I didn't see it. So I ended up having to spend to buy lunch plus other things. And it's funny because once you start spending, it's like you just start spending. The second one, I had an activity, it was cancelled. I didn't know. So I went and I didn't take my lunch. Again, I don't use the microwave, and I don't like, if I know I'm gonna take, they're gonna be providing lunch, I don't like to take my lunch with me. It's easier to maneuver. But yeah, so I really hope that those tips help. I really hope that you consider ways to get out of debt and ways to spend less. If it means that you're gonna wear more black, wear more black. If it means that you're gonna stop using the credit card, stop using the credit card. Take it from me, it might sound hard, it's hard, but it's not impossible. If it means that you have to bulk buy to save yourself from going back to the store, like let's say for example you're going to Costco or Aldi's or whatever store you have there, and you say I'm going in there for one ketchup, I can almost guarantee you that they're coming out with ketchup, burger patty, bread, makeup, all kind of stuff that you didn't intend to get when you went in there. But that too, it just saves you from going to the spaces that are going to tempt you to buy and do more. So that is where I'm going to wrap out for this evening. I'm going to jump on over to Casey's live and support her there. I want to thank you all for coming by. I want to thank you for stopping by, sharing this live with me. Thank you for the encouragement that I receive all the time to just continue going. I'm trying my best to do it, and I want to thank you for just driving along with me, and now in this new season, thriving with me. I want us to be able to do that together. So feel free to reach out and make suggestions, leave a comment, and so we can all learn from each other. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in my next parish. Thank you, Lashana.